It's Maymay, and look at this. It looks like there's nothing in this package, I know, but do you remember the printable burlap that I used to use all the time, that I still love and still use in projects, that is burlap colored? This color? Look at this one. It's white, and I love it. I found this at Walmart. This was not sent to me by Springs Creative. I just love it. So I bought what they had on the shelf. There were 2 packages at my store, and it's the white printable burlap, just like we used to use before. And let me show you this. So I have printed on this burlap. Look how beautiful this is. Now, if you've never seen one of the other printable burlap videos, I'll link that below so you can see what it looks like printed on the regular burlap. It's very pretty, but this pops so much. And can you imagine if you printed in color? I didn't do one in color because today's project's pretty much black and white and burlap, but check that out. Now here's what I did, just to let you know. I went into my Word program, which I use a Mac, so I use Pages, but you could use this with your Microsoft product. Just use the Word, and I just went in and made a text box for every little thing here. So this is a text box, this is a text box. Each one of these lines is a text box, okay? So then I could go in and make my text what I wanted it to look like, and then place them next to each other how I wanted them. Then I just found this little clip art graphic and just put it inside there to fill up some blank spaces and printed it. And I'll show you what it looks like when you print it. Super easy to print. This one actually prints. I did not change the print setting. This is not photo. This is not anything fancy. This is regular old print setting. So I love how pretty this came out and how easy it is to see. Now, because I have this, and I was like, oh, I want one of those garden flags, and guess what? Jamie at Punch Place Plus sent me these garden flags to use, and I haven't used them yet. And see, they're already hemmed here for you to put a little piece in to hold them. I know my camera changed colors. This burlap just freaked it out. Sorry about that. And all the edges are hemmed for you. So this is a nice little flag. Already got the little gusset in it. So we're going to make a burlap garden flag, which actually I'm not going to put this in my garden. I'm going to make it for inside my house. You guys know I decorate with a lot of burlap. So that's what I'm going to do with it. Now, if you wanted to do this for your garden and put it outside, I would suggest, once you get it all put together, maybe put a good coat of Mod Podge over it and seal that ink inside there. And I'm not sure that would last, you know, forever, but it might last a pretty good while. Okay, I want to show you this. See how underneath here it's kind of light, and where I have this piece of canvas, it's darker. This is canvas I get on the bolt, and I just keep this in my stash because I like to have it for any old project. I'm going to Mod Podge this piece onto this canvas, and the reason is, I noticed when I put it on the burlap, let me show you. When you put it on the burlap, I get a better, crisper image with having this behind it than not having it. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to back this piece with some canvas. Now, again, I'm using this inside, so I really don't have to use canvas. I could use just just cardstock here. But I think I'm just going to use the canvas so it'll be nice and soft. And I am going to Mod Podge it. So, you don't have to Mod Podge it either. You could absolutely hot glue this down. I just thought, because I want this to stay nice and together in every section, that I would Mod Podge it. Now, this printable burlap is laminated on the back all the way, so it's not going to fray on you. That's a cool thing, too, so you don't really have to worry about that. That's why you could hot glue it, because it's not going to fray. Depending on how fluid you want your flag to be, like I said, I'm using this inside, so it's not going to be in the breeze or anything. You could even back this on some chipboard and put it on your flag. That would be fine, too. That would just make it sturdier and not flowy. Okay, so we are all covered with the Mod Podge. Now, I cut this canvas piece. I just cut a piece off of what I had in my stash so I could make sure I covered it. One thing I did notice is you want to make sure you have it covering the entire back of the burlap piece you're putting down, because if you don't, it will show. Because it gets lighter. Like if you had this cut kind of wavy, you'd be able to see the edge. You don't want to do that. Now I'm just going to trim it out with some scissors. So there it is, all nice and trimmed out. Now I'm going to tell you guys something. I think if you had these burlap flags in your stash and you had this printable canvas, if you had a wedding or a baby shower or a birthday party or a housewarming that just kind of maybe slipped your mind and you had to get a gift for, you could do this the morning before the party, or I'm telling you, this is super easy. I'll put links to the flags, I'll put links to this, I'll put links to everything I can in the video below, so that way you can have it for your stash. Alright, I'm going to turn this sideways because of the length of the flag. I want you guys to be able to see what I'm doing. Now it's time for me to hot glue. So you see I've got that glued down, And I'm going to hot glue this guy to my flag. I'm going to put my hot glue at the very top edge to start. Just there to start. And I'm going to get it in place. Because I'm using the fabric, I can move it around. Because I'm not using a chipboard or a paper. So I can lift this up, if that makes sense. Because I can just do this and glue down. I'm just going to do it in sections. You guys have seen me do this kind of stuff before. Whenever I make, pretty much when I do anything with burlap, I like to kind of do it in sections. Because I don't want my glue to dry before the glue can get into the fibers of the burlap. Now I'm not through with that hot glue gun because we're going to do a little bit of trim work on it and make it look super cute. So I'm going to let that cool for a second, clean up a little bit. We'll be right back. Okay, so now it's time to do some trim work and make it so pretty. Let me show you what I'm going to do. I have this polka dot and black, this white and black polka dot ribbon, and I'm going to use it on this little guy. Let me get off a good bit here. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to run this around the edge, and I'm actually going to start in this corner because I'm also going to add a bow, and I think I'm going to put the little bow in this corner. So I'm just going to hot glue this ribbon down just like I did before, and I'm just going to run the hot glue right on the edge of that burlap, the printable burlap, onto the flag. Then I'm just going to press this into it. Now if your glue is really hot, be very careful here because this gets hot and you're using fabric and hot glue. You want to be easy, okay? So I'm going to miter my corners. Now see how I've glued it all the way to the edge? That's what I wanted to do. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take this ribbon and pull it back. And notice how I've got it laid on an angle here, okay? I'm going to put some hot glue right here. Just a wee bit. Then, putting my fingernail in place to hold this down, I'm going to fold it back on itself even with the edge of the ribbon on this side. So you see how I'll show you. I just pulled it over this way and then folded it back. Now when I do that, I get this little lip, and that's okay because we're going to hot glue that down. If you were sewing, you'd sew this down, and you can certainly sew on here. All of this is sewable, all this burlap. You could do this on your machine or by hand. So that way I get a nice clean line and we're ready to go back to the other side. Okay, so we're back to a corner. I'm going to show you again what I did. I'm going to pull this ribbon back at an angle, okay? So I've made like this little V shape. I'm going to put a little bit of hot glue right here where the V shape and the burlap is, just a little bit. I'm going to put my fingernail at the edge of the ribbon and then fold this back over. And then stick it down to the hot glue. And making sure that my ribbon lines up nice and straight. Okay, now I'm going to have this little flip again. That's okay. We're going to glue it down. And I put too much glue that time. So I'm going to have to clean some of that off. Maybe. Let's see if it squirts out. You don't need much. You just enough to hold that into place. I think I'm going to get lucky. I think that's going to stay in there. Okay, so now we just keep going. So I've got all the ribbon around, and you see I've got this piece out here, and I don't have to miter this for a couple of reasons. One, because I can cut it off straight enough that I won't need to miter it, and two, because I'm going to put a bow there anyway. So there's going to be a little bow. Let's go ahead and tie that. I'll show you how I'm going to do this. I start with a loop, wrap that around my fingers so you can see, and then I'm going to stick this through the center, making sure that I put the right side of the ribbon up, and then just tie the bow. And then I can come back and manipulate it to the size. Now I don't want it to be real big. So let me work on this real quick. Get that piece turned around. And here's something about a project like this. If your ribbon is not doing exactly what you want, don't worry, because you can hot glue it into place and make it do what you want it to do. You can tell it, nope, you're going to go to this place. Alright, we're getting there. Then just come down here and just look and see if it's the size you want, and then just adjust it. I like it. I think it's cute like that. So I'm just going to come off the edge here and cut this little tail at an angle. I'm not doing dovetails on this. Sometimes I just like to do an angle. And then I'm just going to hot glue this into place. But we're not done. You could be done, but I'm not done. Now I'm actually okay with how this bow is laying. If I wasn't, I would hot glue that into place, but I think it's doing alright. If you ever, even after you hang this up, if you want to adjust it, just get your hot glue and glue it down. Now let me show you what I did. I went into my stash of buttons and I found all these little guys, and I think they're super cute. I have a hot glue string on me. And I even found this little ladybug. How cute is that little guy? So I'm going to use that. And the first thing I want to do, make sure you guys can see it, I want to put a button in the middle. And I found this button that has this kind of large button bail on the back. I'm going to cut that off with some like jewelry snips or either some pliers or wire snips. Just use what you got for that. So I just snipped that little piece off, and it was actually glued on, so it came off super easy. Now I want to hot glue it to this button because I want it to be the centerpiece of this button. So a little bit of hot glue there. So now I have a little bit of color in that corner. And these guys, I've decided I'm going to put them like this. I'm going to put one here, okay, and then a little black one right here. Then the little ladybug here, and this bigger button here in the middle of those little flourishes. But I want to put some baker's twine in them to make them super cute. Okay, so like I took the buttons, and this one I tied a little bow in, and I know where it's going, so I'm going to put some hot glue on there. It's going right on here. And then this little ladybug is going to go right here. I'm just kind of alternating the color so I end up with, you know, red, black, red, black. Are y'all surprised it's done in red, black, and white? I know. It's my thing. Then this little guy, put a little bow in it also, so it's going to go right here inside of this one. Now, here's the cool thing. I could see this done for all kinds of occasions. For weddings, for baby showers. How cute would it be to do the baby's name printed on this burlap? And see, you don't have to have any fancy equipment. You just need a printer and a computer, and that's it. And I just think this is adorable. So there's my finished flag. Let me show you what I'm going to hang it with. Now, I have this storage shelf in my craft room that had a place for ribbon, and it was on this roll, and I did not like it. It kept unraveling funny, so I saved this because I thought I'm going to use this for something. Now, it was way longer than this, so I cut it down and then just screwed this little tip in. But you can buy just a dowel rod from the craft store and glue these little knobs on. And there again, that's something you could keep in your stash. Paint this to whatever color you're doing. Mine just happened to be white. And then I'm going to stick this little guy in here to hold it like this. And I'm going to hang it with a piece of ribbon. And I could use the coordinating ribbon. I probably won't. I'll probably just use a different ribbon because I don't have much of this left. But just hang it with a piece of ribbon or even a piece of burlap twine. Wouldn't that be cute? So there it is. Let me turn it this way so you guys can see the whole thing. I love these products. This garden flag is perfect. This printable burlap is perfect. I just love it. I'll leave links below for you guys. Thanks so much for watching. And also today, I will have a video coming out showing you the release of all the Christmas stamps. They are back in stock, and so many of you have been waiting on them. So keep a lookout for that. There'll be links to stamps below as well. Thanks for watching, guys. Have a great 4th of July weekend. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.